So every time I try to stay away from the church and go about my business to continuously write these books, because I'm really trying to get some stuff out there in the world, here comes God saying, oh, look, Catrice, look at what this pastor's doing. And I'm like, Lord, I don't even want to know what they're doing. However, let's talk about Pastor Keion D. Henderson, or first husband of Shawnee. Hold on.
That we were going to start over. And yet again, I believe God said, Keion, your faith was too small. So let me blow the building down so you can build what I put in your heart. God gave me a vision, and he said we can do it in 21 days. I'm asking 2,100 people to give $2,100 in the next 21 days. I'd ask 2,100 people to give $2,100. And the newspaper did the math, and they said Pastor Henderson asked his 20,000 members for $4.4 million. Let me even make sure that that's what it equals, because I hadn't even done the math yet. Yeah, it's 4.4. I hadn't done the math. It was what God had given me. What I forgot to do, that I'm going to do right now, is remind myself that everybody doesn't have $2,100. And the Lord convicted me on that. And I went back and I prayed about it. And I want to apologize for not offering an opportunity for people who don't have it like that. Everybody doesn't have $2,100. The Lord said, but somebody has $21. And if you go back and read the article, they'll tell you that the building was $20 million. So what does $4 million do when you have a...
He essentially is saying that he wants 2,100 people to give $2,100, and that's the figure that the Lord gave him. But then in the next clip, as you all just saw, the mind of God changed his mind and said, you know, I know people, maybe they don't have it. So what about $21? And I said, well, okay. Because he said he didn't even know the math, and he didn't do the math in his head. That's just the figure that the Lord gave him. But I'm like, why would you change your mind about what God told you to ask for the people to give if that's not what you're supposed to do? I don't know, child. Sometimes I'd be so irritated with these people. However, I want to say something as a nonprofit professional. And if you all don't know, I do have my own nonprofit. It's a really consulting agency, but it really focuses more on nonprofit management and behavioral health management. And I've been in the nonprofit sector since what, 2009. Okay, so that's been 15 years of my life, right? And as a nonprofit consultant, and knowing that most churches are 501c3 tax exempt nonprofit organizations, then something doesn't add up for me, and I want to share with you all exactly what it is. You see, in the nonprofit sector, even churches, they all have board of directors, right? And so the board of directors are basically their main stakeholders for the organization. They are the governing body of the organization and or church, or what I would call a faith-based organization. And when I say that they are stakeholders, most of the time the board of directors should have the manpower and or network, okay, to make their net worth. And so what happens is, because of their network, the board of directors should be the first set of people that Pastor Keion D. Henderson would ask to help him to raise money for the church, not social media and not the congregation. It is first the efforts of the board of directors, what it should be. Check out the article down below. I have a whole write-up as well as an article from my website there, okay? So what happens is they're supposed to go to the board and say, hey, you know, we're in this situation. You all know about the church and the hurricane. We need to raise X amount of dollars. And depending on how many people are on the board, then they're supposed to divide up. So let's say he wants to raise $4.4 million. Let's do some quick math here. So $4.4 million divided by 6 board members. And if the board members are anything like the Potter's House board members, they should have some money. So that comes up to about $734,000 a piece in order to get to that 4.4. Now, that may not be possible. Let's just be honest, right? However, they should be the first people that he should go to discuss finances, okay? The board should be the people that he goes to, because it's actually their church. Isn't that interesting too? A lot of people don't know that, right? So a pastor can start his own church and his whole ministry. However, essentially what they end up doing is they end up signing over their church to a body of people that can make decisions and even vote them out. So in this instance, Pastor Keion D. Henderson was being extremely irresponsible, because there's no reason why you should take to social media and pretty much beg social media and or his congregation to raise this kind of money without first talking to the board and saying, what can we do as a board? Because he's also on the board. He's just, like the president or whatever. So he can get paid, but the other ones cannot. So essentially he should go to them and say, hey, you know the crisis. We want to raise this money. Let's put our heads together, all right, and figure this out. And then from there, whatever the board does not raise for the church, then that is next to responsibility and or of the church. And if he wants to talk to social media, whatever. Say it's, we're a 501c3 tax exempt organization. You can get a write-off, which is true, which is legit. It is not fake. It is completely legal for him to do that. And then he would just send them a letter saying thank you for your donation. And then they show that to the IRS when it comes time to do their taxes. Very simple process, right? However, instead of him, and we don't know if he's done that, we just know he's online social media begging. So essentially what he has done is just taken to social media and said, oh, this is what God told me. And then turns around and then tells the untruth, call it what it is, and says, well, maybe I was asking for too much from too many people, so 21 can do as well. Basically, if it folds, I'll take it. I think at this point he's like, listen, some people don't have $2,100. You might be talking to a person that really wants to give via social media, but they don't have those kind of resources. And it's up to the mind of God to eat some humble pie and to say, it's okay. We can take whatever you can offer and then go from there. So hopefully they get their church rebuilt according to social media and on Google. I believe he's using Joel Osteen's church, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's called Lakewood Church. God bless them over at Lakewood. Y'all couldn't pay me $1 million going to that church. I can't. But I hope everything works out for them. But I just think that it's terribly irresponsible of him to pretty much beg the people for that kind of money. Okay? Especially when, let's just be honest, social media, everyone's trying to sell you something now, right? I'm not knocking the hustle. I'm not knocking the game. I make money on social media. I know a lot of my colleagues make money on social media. Everyone is pretty much making money on social media in their own special way. However, when it comes down to it, I think that he needs to talk to the board of directors first. It is their responsibility to even to put the word out there, right? It should be a letter that's sent maybe even to his colleagues in the Lord. He has some very high profile colleagues in the Lord, mentors and things that he can ask for assistance, for funding and or direction, instead of going straight to social media and to his congregation and being terribly irresponsible. So we shall see what happens. Again, I really do hope that the church gets rebuilt, because again, that's his bread and butter, and I can only imagine he has to pay every time he uses Lakewood. It would make sense. But moving forward, hopefully the church gets rebuilt and he doesn't have to beg any more people for it. Because maybe he got a lot of backlash, and that's why he came back and corrected that thing and was like, well, some people might not have $2,100. And I said, well, what? Didn't you just say that's what God told you? Oh, okay. So you lied. Okay. Anyway, so let me know what y'all think down below, and let me know what you think about this video, and I will see you all soon. Bye.
Fire.